I just got the pop-up saying weekly session with DL. I'm like, really? Because I'm there.
I'm there right now.
I just got the pop-up saying, sorry, I didn't mute it. Weekly session with me. See how that happens? All right, now it's muted.
I know. Okay, so
I couldn't lift the questions that you said you were going to talk about. I couldn't see.
The questions that we're going to talk about, I'm just going to go ahead and say Aura. Come on, please stop right now, kid. For real. You gotta relax. All right, look at your tablet. Go ahead.
Came back.
2-year-olds, of course. I have to. She's with me tonight. So yeah. Yeah. The questions that we were going to do are the 3 that you listed for us to do. I thought those 3 were pretty good. So go with those. I will pull them up to make sure I do them right because I don't want to. I don't want to do them to pick the wrong one, so to speak.
Yeah, and next week I'll print out the ones we're gonna do. That way I won't have to try to hunt on my screen because I have so much stuff on the screen I can't see what I'm doing.
I got you.
All this technology.
I'll pull them up. The 3 questions we're gonna do tonight.
But let's just do your time. We ain't gotta worry.
All right, so we'll do them then. But yeah, I guess we should introduce ourselves and all that jazz. You go first, since you are technically my guest.
I know, right? Hi everyone. I'm Aphrodite Lee, and I don't know what else to say. I'm a writer, and I have a book that is currently published. It's a novella, really, that's currently published, and I have a book, Shattered, that's coming out in April of this year.
Yeah.
It's coming out in like a couple.
I know, it's crazy, right?
A year ago this time, it didn't exist. That is crazy. That's what's crazy.
That's crazy. I know it's wild when it happens. Got anything else? Of course, when we do the closing, you can always add all the other little tidbits.
My brain is scrambled. I'm sure I have a lot else, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay, well, I'll go then. Hey everyone, I'm author. I'm going to say your name. I know, right? Because I'm thinking about you. I'm author Tillery. I don't have any books currently published, but I am working on getting my first debut novel out next year. Oh, at the end of this year, I should say. I'm really, really pushing for that. That book.
Wait till next year?
Yeah, well, for quite a few of them, you do. I do have. If you go to my website, which the links below, also author Aphrodite's links are below too for her Encounters novel that's coming out. But if you want to find out about any of my novels, you can go to my website. I just finished updating it yesterday. Yay, that took a little bit of time. I have planned for my debut novel being Chronicles of Cagliostro, Liberton, Tales of Liberton. So that one should be coming out by the end of 2019. I'm pushing for a late fall, early winter release, but in 2019. So I'm currently editing that one, so I need a little bit of time. But I will be doing the beta run by the end of this month if everything goes right. If not, then early February, probably before Valentine's for beta. My alpha, who is probably going to be Aphrodite, she will be getting it before everyone. So lucky you. Everything else I have going right now, I'm on my Twitter. You can follow me on there. I do a lot of updates on there. And then my Patreon, I am posting on there weekly on Mondays. Check me out on there. But I have a lot going on. I just actually did a poem for a poetry, or I should say a story prompt in the one group on Facebook called the Writers Unite group. They do that every month. You should check that out, Aphrodite, too. They do that every month. Yeah, they give you a picture of the prompt, and then you write a short story that's anywhere from 50 to 3,000 words, or you do a poem, and I'm a poet, too. So I did a poem for the picture, and that's going to be posted in their group soon and on their website, and it's on my website currently. So I post new poems every month on my website. It's a really easy to navigate website too. The way I did it, it's like you scroll down.
For me, with my just in general, my vision issues, I always have to rework people's stuff in order to see it. So it's just, I mean, it's not anybody else's fault. It's just that
no, but I mean, I get you.
It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, I get that. I get you. But yeah, so that's what I got going on right now. I got a bunch of other stuff too, but we'll go over that at the end of the video. Blah blah blah. But yeah, so Aphrodite, you want to talk about anything? What time do you want to start the first write-in?
How long we been talking?
Not too long. I think we came in around like 38 or something.
5 talk and 15 write, but I don't know. We never established if it was going to be 15 or 10.
Well, we could do 15 minutes, friends.
All right, 15 minutes tends to work best for me because 10 always cuts me off, and 20 seems to be a little longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. 15 is good.
All right, so
we got another minute or two to talk, and then.
So what's the question? What's the first question?
The first question is, what do you do to keep from becoming blocked with your writing?
That's an easy one for me.
What do you do?
I don't get blocked. I just and I say that not to be like, oh, she doesn't. No, I've never been blocked. I should say, not for Micah, but the reason why I believe that I don't is because I always, when I end whatever I'm writing, my session is for that day, number one, I always know what I'm going to pick up and write tomorrow. So I don't get to that point where I have to figure out what I'm going to do. Where I start, I know exactly as soon as I turn the computer back on what I'm going to do. Now, how I get to that is my outline that I work from is, even if I don't want to work necessarily in order, because I write in order. I'm one of those writing from start to finish person. But if I don't want to, I don't have to. I literally can jump and say, I want to write this smutty scene first. And I can jump to that and write that. So that's how I don't get stuck. And then the third reason is where the only way that I do get stuck is not because I don't have something to write. It's because I have 8,000 things I want to write.
I get that.
So so I don't have writer's block, but I do have writer's flood. And it can be just as debilitating because either way you're forced to not be able to get something done. And how I get past that usually is I call a friend and go, what should I be working on? And then they'll say, do this. And no matter what they say, that's what I do to get back in my flow, to get on a track, just to get on a track.
Yep.
What do you usually do?
Yeah, I don't get blocked. That's not really something that ever happens to me. I have a lot of stories in my head. So
that's me.
So, yeah, hold on a minute. Uh-oh. Crazy storm going on. My mom's like, oh my God, it's a storm. So,
it's a storm where you are?
Yeah, apparently it's a lot of heavy winds and stuff. But yeah. But yeah, look, I was saying is I don't really get blocked.
You have a damn storm.
Yeah, I know. That's Maryland though. You know how that goes. But yeah, I don't really have issue with blocking. Some people may see on my video sometimes they probably some people gonna be like, blocking exists, blah 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 blah. But I don't. To me, blocking isn't ever an issue. I don't get blocked. It's just I have so many stories in my head that I could just pull out all kinds of things from nowhere, and this would just be, something new to write. So when I try to finish a story or something, it's not really ever an issue. So I never understood the whole writer's block thing. I think it's kind of I always say it should be called self-block because you're just choosing not to write. I mean, if you have, I can't come up with another story, or I'm having issues and things and delays. I got a crazy 2-year-old here. Issues and delays, or my mind can't come up with another story, then, it's like.
I understand. I think people have managed to get blocked in a story when they get to a point they just really don't know what to do or don't know what to write. But I think a lot of that comes from and I could be wrong because again, we're talking. I've never been blocked, but
Yeah, I
I think a
don't
lot of it
really
comes from is not planning out to a certain degree. Oh,
Evil, can you close the door too when you go up? Let me see.
to a certain
You see it up
what do you call it? Not necessarily your outline, but just not having a plan. If that makes sense. You
Yeah.
people get all bent when they talk about outlines, like, oh, I don't outline and I don't think outlining is necessary. I mean, if you don't think it's necessary, then it's not. You know, whatever floats your boat. But I think people who do get blocked is because they just don't know what they wanted to say next. Or I've gotten to situations where I didn't know exactly how I was going to say something, but I've never
Yeah.
gotten to a situation where I didn't know what I was going to do next. And
Well, I think an
that's
outline helps with that though.
right. I think it's a key. You don't have to. You can have an outline and write your first draft, and go to write your second draft, and that outline is completely altered. But the fact that you had the initial one to begin with will get you that flow. It will at least get you that flow. And I'm a firm believer in doing it doesn't have to be some massive endeavor. And I think that's where people get stuck in their head that the outline needs to be this. It's like you're writing the book twice. Like if your outline is like you wrote the book twice and you're not doing the outline, you're doing
I was
something
gonna
else.
say that's not
That's like
that's not an outline.
some shit.
But you know me, I do my steps before outlining where I do like all my character creations and my main plot, my subplots, and my um ideas of the book, title possibly. And then I do my outline after I get that stuff together because it helps me build my main plot and subplots and all that stuff.
Right.
Um
I don't.
so
What
yeah,
I
it's
end up doing is when I get the initial idea, I dump. Like you say, like I do all my dumping,
mm-hmm,
but I don't generally build the characters, like do the character writings and stuff until after I finish writing hot. And what I mean by that is before I have an outline,
mm-hmm,
but after I have my info dump, I
yep,
just write whatever comes to me, whatever scenes pop up,
mm-hmm,
whatever. I'm like, oh, that'd be a good situation. When I finish doing that,
mm-hmm,
and then I'll start working on the outline because then I might have a lot of gaps in my outline at that point because I might have, oh, I know it's starting here. Oh, I know I
yeah,
have this scene here and I know it ends here. But I have all this shit in the middle to fill.
mm-hmm,
When I get to that point is when I start building the characters up because once the characters exist, the
yeah,
story writes itself. I mean, literally,
sure,
if you write a character and you have a character that's afraid of dogs and the
yeah,
story is about being invaded by dogs, you know what that character is going to do in the situation because they
that's
exist
true.
that way. They
Yeah,
exist.
I was gonna say that because well, I do when I do it that way. I was talking about when I did a video on character bios is what I just call it. So I'll do my character bio, not so much as the creation per se, but more like the bio. So I'll do like okay, the character's name, then I'll research what their name means. His name means are very important, and then
Yep.
I I do possibly their features and then possibly their style of what they like to wear, something like that, because it gives me
Yep.
visuals. Then I do, the I do childhood because that's going to shape personality later on. So
Yep.
I'd be like, okay, what kind of childhood did my character have? Were their parents there? Did their parents die? Did their parents treat them bad? Did they treat them well? Did they not have their parents and have step parents? Did they have adopted parents? And were they raised by wolves? Whatever the case may be. But I do that because I think that structures the character a lot at that point, and then
Yeah.
that helps me build.
It defines
You know what I mean?
who they are at the point of where the story starts. Like my main character in Shattered is 17 where the story starts, but she was
Mm-hmm.
still born and lived up until 17 and all that stuff I flesh out. So she can't suddenly go to school at 17 at this new school and then all of a sudden be acting in a way that she can't because she has a background, even though the background isn't in the book.
Right. I
She
get
came
that.
to this school a whole person. She didn't just show up at 17 in pigtails.
I got that.
Right. And so
Yeah.
I think if people did that, if you okay, anybody watching, if you ever get blocked, stop trying to write the story and then go back and write the characters.
Yep.
Make,
That's what I
make
was
them fall
saying.
down the steps at 12. Make them say somebody from drowning when they were 10. Give them something that gives them character.
That's right. That helps lead you. That's why I was saying about I don't get blocked because usually I have so many different directions I can go. And then when I build my main plot and then I start on my subplots, usually I get a lot of my subplots from my side characters as well. So my first two subplots usually come in from whoever the secondary character is and possibly whoever the next side character would be. That brings in a lot of decent subplots, especially when you have like a 3-part or a saga or something. Those things can really help drive the story and keep the main plot going or whatever. So.
You know yourself, my subplot in Shattered spawned a whole new book.
Yep. That's what happened.
It was a subplot. It wasn't even a subplot.
Yeah, some subplots can do that.
Oh my God! And it turned into its own baby. Look, I don't even know where to put it because, like, all of my stuff is new adult.
Yeah,
this one might be adult.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't mean erotic adult. I mean.
No, I know what you mean. You would have said erotic.
A whole another different animal. Even though it does have sexual situations, it's still not erotica. Erotica
is a total different story.
Yeah, people get that wrong. They think like, oh, you have a scene in your book, an erotic scene in my book. I don't have any erotic scenes in my book.
They must have never read erotica.
Is not a sex scene is not erotic. Erotica is for titillation. If you have a scene in your book that's sex because people had sex, that's because that's what people did. But if you write something that's erotica, you wrote it for the sole purpose of titillation, and that's not what sex scenes in all books are for.
Nope,
people don't get the difference. I can't help you.
All right, I guess we should probably start the first write-in because we'll get going for a while. Next time, set like 10-minute talking and
5 minutes writing. But no, I really have to write. I have to write because I have like 40 days left to finish something. So,
oh my!
Yeah, I don't even talk about it. I'll get it, but it's just the fact I hate deadlines.
Well, to get used to those being a full-time writer. Just saying.
I hate deadlines.
I'm with you there. All right, so I guess let's wait for it to hit the minute. It should be hitting 8:55 in a minute, and then we can jump into a write-in. And that will be 15 minutes.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute mine so you don't hear me banging at the keyboard. But do you have a timer? Because I don't.
Yeah, I can set a timer.
All right.
No big deal.
Okay. I gotta go down and find my document now. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at me. I'm all ready.
So I guess we should come. To be back in at.
It's 8:55.
10 minutes after 9.
Okay, so 9:10.
Yeah.
I'll let everybody know. Hold on.
Yeah.
So people come in like, what are they doing? They aren't talking.
We're talking a little bit. It's okay. Alrighty.
Right.
Ready when you are.
I'm ready.
And go. Alrighty, we're back.
That was a fast 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It was, wasn't
it? Damn, it really was. So like I just got started. I don't even know how many words I did. Let me see. Oh shoot, I can't tell like this. It was only a couple hundred.
Yeah, I did about 300.
I already had like 3,000 written where I started, and I didn't exactly check to see what the number was. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I only got a couple paragraphs in, so it looks like it might be maybe 200, if that. Because I went back and read some of the stuff too. Then my eyes started acting dumb, so I had the computer read it to me, and then I went and started writing again.
Oh, okay. I see. So you I don't know if anybody was even watching. I think we had
someone. Yeah, it was somebody that came in, but then now it's back to one.
Okay. What's wrong, Bea? Got a 2-year-old here. What's wrong?
You can tell when she gets frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
She makes that one particular sound, and you know what it is.
Yeah. You silly. Oh, that, and she's gone.
what are you working on?
Actually, I decided to work on one of my short horror stories because I am in the middle of finishing my Shadow Keep book that's supposed to come out in 2020. So I've been still working on that one. So I decided just to go ahead tonight. Right, instead of editing Chronicles of Cagliostro, I'd usually do editing for that during the day. So decided just to go ahead and write some of those. So I was working on one of the short stories called Shh. So
oh Lord, I'm already scared.
So that's a horror one. So it's well, I don't know if I should even tell you. You might you might get
one. Does it involve people being possessed? Wait,
no.
I have a list. Possession, ghosts,
no,
children, inanimate objects, and aquatic creatures.
No.
So those I can't.
There's no aquatic creatures, but there are children, and it's not a ghost, but it's something worse than that.
Nope. Top 5. Children number 1.
That's hilarious.
Don't have no damn possessed child with a inanimate object near the ocean. We done.
You're funny.
I will die. Look, I will die from the title if I see a trailer with a child holding a doll, looking like he or she's possessed with a ghost behind her, and they at the ocean. That would be me.
You probably can't look at any horror movies.
What would be the worst thing they could do to you? That'd be it.
You probably can't look at any horror movies, and I look at horror movies all the time. Like
I watched horror movies as a kid because my babysitters used to watch them.
You probably try to watch any by yourself.
My mom told them, do not watch horror movies with her. Whatever it is about me, I don't have the constitution for it. So like, do not watch horror movies. And then they'll go, this is funny. You won't be scared. And then they'll watch some shit. And then I got to sleep with my mother, for a month because I couldn't handle it. And the worst thing that ever happened to me when it came down to a horror story is, now this was my fault because I begged my babysitter, because my babysitter at this point, she's like the 8th one because my mom went through them. Mm-hmm. And she was scared of my mom. So she's like, your mom said you can't, then you cannot. So in that respect, she was a good babysitter. But I was like, please take me. I want to go to the movies so bad. And her girlfriend were going to the movies. And they were going to go see, back in the old days, they used to have triple features.
Yeah.
And they were going to, and all of them were scary movies. So they were like, oh, we're going to go. And then like, she asked my mom, could she take me? And my mom said no. And then I threw my lead tantrum, which I knew would win with my folks. And I was like, I want to go. And just went crazy. But I really didn't want to go see the horror movie. I just wanted to go with them because they were teenagers and I wasn't. And I wanted to walk with them. So after I pulled all my shit, and my mom said, you can go, you'll be sorry, you can't sleep with me if you did. So I'm like, so I was all proud. We get to that damn movie, and the name of the movie was called Beyond the Door. I will never forget it. And then the second feature was called The Devil's Wedding Night.
Oh no.
And they actually showed The Devil's Wedding Night first as like a startup, and it was all about vampires. Now vampires do not scare me because I love vampires, but back in the old days, vampires were really vicious. They weren't sexy.
I was gonna say it depends on what kind of vampires.
Yeah, this was some shit. They buried this chick alive after it was a whole bunch of vampires, like a whole coven of dudes, no chicks, vampires, and they got this young little virgin girl, and they did some stuff to her where she ain't a virgin no more, and then they buried her ass alive. So that just wasn't a really good thing for me to see. Plus, I didn't understand half the shit that was happening. And then Beyond the Door comes on.
What's that one?
It was a movie about, bitches being possessed by the devil, the head turning split pea kind of thing. And it was so inanimate. It had everything. It had the ocean tip, because you have these two little kids, and these really little, creepy looking kids anyway. And basically the premise, the mom was pregnant. And I guess she was pregnant by the devil. I don't know. I never understood totally the whole concept of it. But she's pregnant, and she was starving the little boy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like, you didn't understand it at first because she fed the little girl, but she didn't feed the little boy. And so the little boy had like a toy car. I'll never forget this, like his dad's car. And he took the car and threw it in the ocean. And then the dad's car went off the thing into the ocean. I remember that. And then I remember in his room, all his toys came alive and started going around chasing and doing some other crazy shit. Yeah, I mean, it covered all my scary bases. And then it was just horrible. And then it was this guy who was always lurking after the mom. And then she looked in the mirror, and the guy be behind her in the mirror, and then she turned around. Of course, he ain't there. And like a devil's minion, so that he can help her give birth to the baby. What? And so she was laying in bed before the husband died, and the husband like came in and touched her, was like, Joan, are you okay? And her head spins around, and she's like, leave me the fuck. Like, no. Like, everybody in the theater was destroyed on that, because it was like you really weren't waiting for that. And then
we got 2 minutes too.
Can the baby hear me? I'm gonna have to slow my cussing down.
No, she's not down. She gone right now.
So then she raises up, and she's getting ready to have the baby, and then she was like, get it out of me, you piece of shit, kind of stuff. And then the guy was reaching up to get the baby out, and then all this terrible stuff came out on him, if you know what I mean. And not baby stuff, but like soup stuff,
possession type of stuff.
It was bad. And then so he gets the baby and everything. And then like, I don't remember, but some kind of way, like the baby gets thrown in the corner. And then when they turned the baby over, he didn't have a mouth or nose.
Oh no.
He just had eyes. It was like, you starved that one kid, so that the whole time was the little boy who was doing all this demon-y stuff. In a way.
Yeah. You got scarred.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
All right, I'm frozen. Are you frozen?
No, you're freezing. I think. Me.
Okay, then I ain't worried about it, because my computer acting down. But oh my God, it was like the worst thing. So Of course, my babysitters being teenagers, I'm back now. My babysitters being teenagers and assholes because they're teenagers decided that the whole walk home they were going to scare me. So every time we're walking past bushes, they're like, "Ugh, here come the baby, here come the mama. Little boy got the car." And then he's like, "Oh, he got your outfit." He gonna, and I could have sworn something like somebody in the bush was getting ready to grab. It was just horrible walking home. So I get home, my mom is ready. And she's like,
I told you not to go.
And I was like, I'm not scared. Because I even with it, I still knew it was fake. It was just chilling. So I was standing by my kitchen talking to my mom who was in the kitchen, and I turned and I looked down the hallway, and the hallway just kept going and going. And my bedroom is at the end of the hallway. I'm like, damn. So either I'm gonna get like child molested by some old vampires and get buried, or some little kid down there waiting for me. I could not walk down that hall. I begged my mother. I was so sorry. She said, nope. She made me sleep in my room that night.
She already knew you were going to be afraid.
I deserved it. Because if she had let it go, then I would be even more terrified for the more days I had to stew on it.
Yep.
Girl, no. Beyond the door. And this is my 9-year-old, 8-year-old recollection. You have to watch it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out.
But it was...
See if I can find it.
All
right, we can go ahead and start the writing.
We didn't do the question.
Oh, we didn't do a question, did we? Let me type that. I guess we can start at 25 then. Let me rewrite that because I said right in. I forgot about the question there for this one.
Damn, I'm gonna be scared tonight.
Yeah, you should have told us story. Now you're gonna be scared.
I need a boyfriend.
Yep.
You know, where's Spencer when you need him?
Not there, I'm afraid. All right. So question number 2, because I can't remember what I said. The second question was. Let me see if I can do that. I think it was.
I don't remember. I know you said, but I don't remember.
I mean, double check it because I know I'll forget exactly what I said because we had a few that we were going to do, but all right. So the next question is, how long on average do you write per week?
Oh, damn. Okay. I have to do it on my fingers. Approximately 21 hours.
About 21 hours?
Yeah, because I do at the very least, I write like 3 hours a day.
Okay.
But that is on the low. But no matter what, I get in 3, so I'm going to use that number as opposed to my madness numbers. Yeah, because there's no way that a day doesn't go by where I haven't written for like 3 hours. Now, beyond that,
better than me.
I have marathon days where I go like 2 days straight, with the exception of peeing and maybe getting in a snap. But I'm not counting that because it doesn't always happen that way. But it definitely always do 3. No, that's not. That is insane, and it doesn't. You don't need to do that to accomplish the same thing. You can literally do like an hour in a day for 5 days, and depending on how you type and how how your thoughts are going, you can get it out.
Yeah,
you can do it. So I write so much because I don't just write one thing. If I say how much I wrote for one particular, let's use Shattered. I probably do like 14 hours a week on Shattered.
Yeah.
So the rest of that is writing something else. And then my job also calls for me to write. So I have this boss. Her name is DL. I'll tell you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, well, I don't know. I can go from week to week about the amount of time. Usually with write-ins, I get more done than I do on my own, and I don't really manage my time too well on the weekends because I'm always doing a lot of things, so I have to try to fit it in. But during the week, I write more. So I guess I probably do something between like, I don't know, probably, let me see. I usually end up getting about 2 hours to 1.5 hours in a day. So roughly, like, if I do average 2 hours a day,
See, and it's your two
I get
hours,
about
your
15
hour and a
hours
half.
maybe with the weekend.
Yeah, your hour and a half is probably more constructed and more precise than my three. I probably get as much done in my three as you do in your 1.5 because I'm just scrambled. So I need as much time as I take, to be honest. I am not people. A lot of people say, "Well, oh, you write so much," and so I write take so much time because I need it. I have a
Right.
lot of physical disorders. I have a lot of mental disorders. I have a lot of learning disorders. Believe it or not, it's harder for me to do what I do. So I need as much time.
Oh, one would ever know.
So thank God, like I do. I tell people all the time, I'm glad I'm smart and that my IQ is off the charts because if I wasn't,
You really be in trouble, I guess,
I
right?
really would be in trouble because like I even have a hard like even to speak. I always tell people, I write better than I talk. Even to speak is not easy for me because I have a lot of speech impediments. So it's hard. Everything is concentrated. Like to say this, I have to work on.
Well, you know that, but majority can't tell that. You seem to speak quite well and clear.
And then
So
yeah, well, I got a lot of jokes about that. Like what you talk funny, and I think it's not so much that I talk funny. Is usually I speak correctly because I had to be taught.
yeah, well, I was going to say a lot of people don't speak correctly, and they seem to think that they do. But anyway, that's another subject for another time. All right, so we're gonna jump in on this writing. I better set this alarm so that way I can know when to stop because once I get into my horror stories, I do not come out easy. So.
Right.
All right.
Like I'm writing smut right now, so yeah.
Oh yay, smut. Okay. All right, ready when you are. I'm gonna count it down. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Time.
Woo, girl.
Oh, how'd you do with that?
I don't know how many words, but I did good.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh my goodness. I just got to a crazy scene.
Uh-oh.
I think
Sorry.
I needed to
I
stop.
interrupt.
And it wasn't even smut. It wasn't like it wasn't detailed in that kind of way. It was detailed.
Some good stuff though, right?
Yeah, the Dr. Okami in the story that the passage I posted in our
Mm-hmm.
group,
Yeah.
um, he she has marks on her,
Yeah.
and one of them is on her breast. And
Okay.
he just like kind of casually asked, could he examine it?
Oh.
And she doesn't know him. But
Oh
she's
yeah.
still in a limbo state, and she's trying to figure out, is he trying to be a doctor or is he trying to be a creep?
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't know which one.
Yeah, she doesn't have an idea. But she found out what he really trying is gonna be even worse. So
Oh boy.
that's why I started getting chills. I'm like, oh shit, it's getting close. It's getting close.
Uh-oh. So did you what how many words did you get in, you think?
Oh, let me see. I don't know. Where am I at? So actually, you know what? I can check a little bit better than that. Like 400.
Oh wow, good job.
I mean, that's give or take.
Mm-hmm.
But dang, girl, yeah, it's getting ready to get deep.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I think I got about 315 or something, so I'm hitting about the 300 something mark each time.
Yeah,
It's
I
a short
usually don't do
story,
that.
so I can zoom through it. So it's
I'm
got
not.
to the scary part where the thing has come out.
Uh,
So
the part is gonna have me with the book like this.
I don't know if you'll be reading my horror compilation. I wouldn't do that to you.
I like monsters, so I like Frankenstein, vampires, werewolves. I like that paranormal. I guess paranormal over horror, but
Yeah,
paranormal can still be scary.
it could be. It could
But
be.
it
I
doesn't.
usually don't write my paranormal scary per
I don't
se.
either. Mine
So
is generally, what do you call it? They're romantic.
yeah, I think because Chronicles of Cagliostro is a odd subgenre of
What is
paranormal. Yeah,
mhm.
because it's paranormal romance espionage.
The kind of person that I am? Because
Mm-hmm.
like I read the beginning part. I'm not going to talk about like specifics, but I read the beginning part of that story that you sent me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I still got a chill when the part where how he left his domicile on his way to the pond.
Mm-hmm.
That's the I'm such a punk. That
You
still got me.
funny.
It was like, whoo, okay,
Like
okay,
what?
okay.
Oh, that's not even anything
I
either.
know. See,
So I could take a whole like segment and talk about what Cagliostro really is. That's why the book had a name change for the sub name because originally it was Chronicles of Cagliostro Vampiric Origins, but I didn't want to throw people off because he is not a vampire per
right.
se. Um, the title is a made up word
Oh
that
no,
I did a collaboration with
I
my
saw
older
that in
brother.
Patreon.
Yeah,
Freak
Libertin.
out.
So it's the word is
Boy, Mario.
Libertin. Yeah, so it's similar. You know how they came up with Nephilim, you
Yeah,
know, but he's like he says something like that. So I came up with like Libertin with the help of my older brother. He came up with the because he's really good at language mixing.
that's my
So
thing.
that's what he is. He's the first of his kind. So you find out because the cast consists of you have Cagliostro, you have Allison, you have his mother, who's technically not in the story because she has passed away. But his mother in the story, and then his father is partially in a flashback. Then
I'm
you
looking forward
have
to finding out about that sister.
Yeah, Delata.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, she's a evil one. She's definitely gonna be in and out of the story, causing mischief and stuff that she likes to do.
Right.
It's funny when she first meets Allison in his manor. That's really really interesting and funny. Because she's not his real sister, but you know how vampires name sisters.
I know how that works.
So yeah,
I said I'm looking forward to it because the way even in coven life, so to speak, for vampire type creatures,
yeah,
it's anything goes. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and then there's Catherine. Her name, we call her Cat for short. She is Cagliostro's old love interest.
I'm looking forward to a cast video, my friend.
Yeah, I'm going to do one soon, putting it together since the book is finished. So I'm going to do that so I can introduce everyone. I found a bunch of pictures. I was looking at photos of people today that could possibly play them in a movie. So Cagliostro is a little difficult because he has a mixed background. So it's harder to find someone that looks like him.
Right.
I found he looks something like him, but he doesn't have his skin tone and hair length. So that was it's a little hard.
I had the same trouble with Pooey. I still haven't found a good Pooey.
Yeah.
So I understand. And whenever they have, especially if it's like a direct blend with just this and that, when it's like more mutt, like a whole bunch of stuff, it's actually easier
like me.
than just two. Right. It's just easier than just those two because they're so distinguished. She's Asian and African.
Yeah. You got two. So you can find it easier.
Yeah.
But I kind of favor. I think I favor probably my Native American side more because I look something like my aunt who passed away when she was younger. She got in a car accident. Well, she was hit by a car, and my family says that I look like her, so like a reborn type of thing. So, baby's time. You gonna come get her?
I definitely more African than anything, but my eyes always give my Lee away, which I always think is funny. I can't get away from Lee, but I always tell people I think my because I don't know all of my background. My mom is an orphan, so we have her name and stuff, like her real name and everything, and so we have some information about coming from background. We just don't know the people directly. You know what I mean? So I would love to do like my DNA thing, but I tell people all the time my DNA thing's gonna come back 99.9% African from the corner or someplace, I don't know, near Egypt or something, and then that little teeny tiny 0.01% Korean.
You silly. It's not even possible.
And my son he's just always smirking at me like, you can keep on dreaming.
Yeah, you keep on dreaming.
You keep on dreaming, Lee.
Even being with like the African, you're still gonna have like some British in there somewhere.
Right. I'm pretty sure
Caucasian
because of the Roman Italian parts that may show up because it showed up physically in like my nose and everything. It showed up.
Yeah.
But
so
I still don't think it's gonna be a lot. I think that the rest of
not a lot, but you never know the way DNA works.
You just never know. You just never know.
It's like I'm too many different things. I know most of all mine, so I know about some of the percentages and stuff. But you gotta take some.
Know what my father is at all. We know that he's part black. And we say we know this, but we don't actually know. His other brothers and sisters, his mom, that's right, she's my grandma, she a hoochie. His mom, all her other kids have black fathers. So we assume his was too, because he doesn't know his father. And she's white. All her kids are mixed, and all of their fathers were black. So again, we assume his was too. He looks like he's black and white. But he could be Latin. You never know what kind of brown kicked in.
You don't know. That's what we don't know is my grandmother on my mother's side. Don't really know about her. They would just say black, of course, but Okay. Like you say that. Okay. Like
right. My grandmother on my mom's side, my mom was an orphan. My grandmother died giving birth to her.
That's what happened with my grandmother on my mother's side. My great grandfather had 23 children, and it was 17, I think 17 or 18 by his second wife, and only 18, 19, like 3 by his first wife who died, who was my grandmother's mother. And she passed away after she gave birth to my grandmother.
Right.
So she don't know nothing about her mother, and she just knows she's really, really short, like tiny, like little.
Yeah, my whole family short.
Not my father's side. My father's side of the family, all giants. The Native American and the West Indian, they're all giants.
We're all short, except for
all me. The females are giants, like 6'6" and so 6'7", all of them. So that's why my daughter probably is going to be like. The only reason I'm 5'7" is because my mom, the Puerto Rican and the Mexican. Like, if I didn't have that, I probably would have been a giant too. I have a half brother who's 6'7"
I was 5'7" in high school. I got 2 more inches after high school. I kept growing.
Wow, so you like guys do that. I'm
down near 6 feet tall. I didn't stop growing until I was like 26. So I hit 5'9".
You pull one of those things that guys do that. They grow to like 25, but I was done when I was like 16, 17.
See, I was, by the time I was 15, 16, I was still, not only was I still little, but I was considered short. So... And it wasn't a big thing because everybody, both sides of my family, they're short. I have one cousin. She's 6 feet tall. She's the only one that's taller than me. Really? And then my son, who got some extra stuff somewhere else anyway, but my son is 6'7". So it's me, my son, and my cousin.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Oh, girl. 6 foot.
He's a giant.
Well, you see, his son is only 2. You see how big he is, how tall he is. He ain't big, but he's tall.
Yeah, my daughter's tall, but I don't know if she want to be a giant or not. I'm not sure. She's about the size of a 5-year-old when she's 2. So she has the height of a 5-year-old when she's 2.
She's going to be at Amazon. Maybe can't nobody mess with her.
She wears size 8 and girl shoes already. So.
Girl, don't you? Okay. Jeremy was born. My son was born wearing a size 2.
Oh no!
He skipped everything. Started with a size 2. Yes, he did. Oh, and right now, I think he wears a 21. He wears a 21. I think. He got
what now?
He got some big feet.
He wear what now?
21. 2021, depending on the
I'm a little confused why he not playing like football or something.
Because I didn't let him.
What?
But here's the thing.
Basketball, honestly, something. You just walk up to the hoop and put it in.
It was all that whole stereotypical, because he was a big black kid, he had to play ball kind of thing.
So just let it go. He's mixed. Just let it go.
Said, he is, but it's just the fact that I was like, I'm not letting him do that just because. Now, if he had like this big desire, I would have let him. But
was he not interested? Probably not at all.
He was. But I had another one. See, it's another point though. I swear it's a good one. None of us can see. He can't see either, and he only has one eye that works. So they told me that if he loses that other eye, he's 100% blind, and I didn't want to take a chance that he would get knocked around if he tried to play ball. Yeah. So he wanted to play football, and I absolutely was like, I don't want to say no, but at the same time, it would be just his luck. And so I let him do basketball because I felt like that was a little bit safer. You know, even if he took an elbow, he might be okay. And I let him do baseball. And so we didn't have no interest in that. But I put his ass in karate, martial arts. I put him in dance. I let him do other things that I felt like was physical that he wouldn't lose his vision because he has low vision in one eye he has. So I had those 2 things. Everybody, when I would take him shopping and get his tennis shoes, and they were like, "Oh my God!" and then look up and they say, "Oh, he needs to be playing ball," and he would roll his eyes because I wouldn't let him. And I'm looking out for you. When you
just be careful. There's nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, I might have been a little bit too strict on that, but I really was trying to look out for his vision.
No, that's good. You're supposed to use mom, so that's not
like we're together. We're still not a good seeing person.
Did you want to do another write-in? You want to call it quits? I gotta get out of here anyway after a little bit after 10. So
it's up to you.
What's this silly baby doing her little mouth thing? Get out of here, you little goofball. Goofball baby. You know. Silly. But yeah, we could try to do one last sprint. Take us to like.
I think it doesn't.
Another 15.
Yeah. It's just us mainly. No one else. If anybody else is watching that is also writing, let us know what you did. Like how much you got done. I don't know if anybody. I know people are watching.
We'll check it out.
People are watching, but
people watching might not be writers, but hey, if you are not,
look at us too. We're goddesses. We like it.
It's no problem. So we can just go ahead and start at 10, and then we can do a 15-minute, and we'll end it after we come back. Do our little blah blah blahs and stuff.
Okay, what's your third question?
And let me pull that up. Hold on a minute. Silly baby. Silly baby. Yeah, I know, girl.
Yeah, that storm hit us too.
I figured it was coming your way.
It passed though. It passed just as fast as it came.
All right, so the third question for tonight is, what would the FBI find suspicious in your search history? You won't be in trouble, I have a feeling. I'm just saying.
In one of my videos, and I haven't loaded it yet because it's a piece I want to add to it, but in one of my videos, I talked just about that. About the FBI. Look, I'm going to get carted away. They're going to put a straitjacket on me. It's going to be a whole bunch of shit if they ever had to look without asking me. So for the record, FBI people, I'm not trying to kill nobody. I'm not into really, really kinky, weird stuff. I have to look the stuff up to write about it.
I think one getting arrested. That's the case.
And Johnny Raven, I have he gets poisoned. A drug dealer poisons him on purpose.
Yeah.
And we're not to kill him, but to make him wish he did die. And so I have to find something that would make somebody wish they died, or think that they're gonna die, but they don't. And I'm looking up all these poisons because he has to give it. He was Johnny didn't like drug dealers. Now, mind you, Johnny isn't a good guy, but you know how everybody has that one thing that's good about them.
Yeah.
He hated dealers. He hated anybody that had to deal with drugs, whatever, alcohol, nothing. He was totally against that stuff. And there was this kid in his neighborhood who was just dealing drugs, and he decided that he was going to get rid of this guy. Well, the guy decided he needed to be got rid of. So when he poisoned him, and he poisoned him good. If you're reading it, you do think he's going to die.
Right.
He wasn't meant to die. It was just to teach you a lesson, like, to mind your business, stay out of my face. So I had to look all that stuff up, and I was doing it, and I was dying laughing because I thought somebody's gonna come in here one day and look at this and go,
and be like, what is she planning?
Right. And then some of the kinky stuff that I had to look up. I'm not even saying what they were.
Camera malfunction.
Okay. But the thing that keeps me, like, you really do have to be careful with some of the things you type. Like, I typed in something that I thought was innocent, and some crazy shit popped up on the screen. And
really?
I swear, I'm not even gonna say what it was, but I'm like, first of all, human beings, get y'all shit together. I mean, come on. But
I don't know if I've researched anything that was too bad that they would care about. I don't really think, except for when I'm doing like researching like murder stuff, they can be like,
how to get away with being a serial killer. And you want to look up, like, how do people get away with it for as long as they do? Because a lot of serial killers, they die, and then you discover that they were serial killers.
Yep, that's like it. They got away with it.
So I'm like,
technically, they got away with it. So yeah, that kind of stuff. Then yeah, like murder, like how to get away with murder or stuff.
So you think the FBI would cart you off without knowing you're a writer?
Possibly, or looking up all the stuff that I look up. Maybe the crazy house, or Get like a straight jacket.
Right, exactly. I know I'm going in a straight jacket.
What's all that stuff you looking at? Like,
I did a thing where I wanted to do not a police drama, so to speak, but it was more like a thriller, but it involved police, and they're looking for the killer kind of thing. And it's always have black female leads because we never have enough black female leads, and that's my thing. Yeah. So we had the black female lead, and then they hooked her up with a rookie cop who he was a young white guy, but he fit the profile because he fit right in the mold for them damn serial killers. Like, so they're doing this investigation, and it seems like everywhere they go, when they get to another certain point of it, then somebody wherever they had went to, then that person ends up getting killed. So she's getting more and more suspicious of him, of like, oh wait, I am working with the motherfucker, but it turned out that he was the serial killer. So I wanted to do it where, what's the opposite of the normal profile? And so I said, so you got the white male, 19 to 35 kind of thing. So I did the opposite, and I used her. And she's very much well aware that she is the damn killer. She's misleading this motherfucker. And he's the target too. So the range of the people who were being killed, which is why the world was so upset about it, because they were killing white men. Right. And the thing is, you can't kill white men. That's a problem. You can kill everybody else, but you can't kill white men.
Yeah, I made a joke to a friend of mine. I'm gonna say this real quick, and then we could jump on the sprint. A friend of mine, he said that saw about car trouble and everything yesterday, because I was like, I had to get my back brakes fixed, and then he was saying how I had to put my headlight in because they charge you like $145 to put your headlight in at dealership or your shop or something like that, because they don't make it simple. You can just pop it open anymore. Like on mine, you have to turn the wheel outward, and then you have to go up under with the casing over the wheel, and then you have to put a special tool in there, turn that, open the case, put your hand up inside, turn another thing, take that out. Then you can pull a piece out, then put the light in. You can't touch the bulb, because if you touch the bulb, then it's going to mess the bulb up. So, but I know how to change mine, but the other side I can't really get. So last night it went out, and I was like, God, please don't let a cop pull me over. When you brown, you got to be like, you know what I mean?
Right. It should be like your last thought. That shouldn't even come to you. It's so sad.
Right, it shouldn't, because I don't do anything wrong, but I couldn't help it, and then I told my friend, like, I had a friend of mine come over, and he put it in for me because I couldn't get my tool to work on it. And my friend Chuck, who I made the joke to, he was like, well, his wife, one time a cop pulled her over for their headlight being out, and she got the cop to change it. Yeah, like, she was like, I got the light and change it. And I was like, no, if I tried that, I probably would get shot and tasered and arrested. And I probably would get shot and then arrested. Mm-hmm. He was like laughing. I was like, well, it's possible. You get stressed though nowadays when a cop behind you a little bit. But I'm like, she could do that though, because they're Caucasian. So I told her, I said, no, I wouldn't even play that game.
Right. I wouldn't even take that chance.
If a cop pulled me over, I'm not getting out. I'm not asking him to do anything. I'm just going to be like, yeah, okay, you can give me my ticket. So.
I 100% throughout my almost 60 years on this planet have had good luck with cops.
Yeah, I've got decent ones for sure. Don't get me wrong. But I get nervous though.
It is a rarity in the United States.
I did have cops pull me over and be really mean to me for no reason and racial profile me and stuff. So I'm not comfortable when they pull me over until I can meet them, and then they turn out to be nice, because a lot of times they weren't nice.
It's a miracle for me that I have not been arrested with some of the things that I do and say.
I was going to say, how you never been arrested?
I don't know. I have severe problems.
I know. That's why we all love you so much.
But Kim, if Kim is on here watching, I don't know how she isn't in jail right now, because when a cop pulls her over, and whenever I have been with her, she is instantly enraged. And so by the time the cop gets
calm down,
by the time the cop gets to the window to say something to her,
she's already
I'm like, oh my God, girl, you flag, you go to jail. Stop.
Like, oh.
And she said, but never. And they always apologize to her. They're always like, ma'am, we just were asking this, that, and the third. I am a law-abiding citizen. And if it wasn't for
me, no.
She goes,
I would not be in a call with her.
Yeah, she goes, oh. And then when poor little Misa on the other side, like, I am very inappropriate when I see guys who walk up in little tight uniforms and handcuffs. So anytime,
oh my goodness.
Anytime I get pulled over, unfortunately, that's where my brain goes. So I'm not kidding. I wish I was lying. Like, so what can I help you with today?
Be all nervous, like, why are you nervous?
And the cops are like, this one cop, and I rolled my eyes a little bit because I thought he was fun. I don't care what he said I did. I'd have just been like, arrest me. But he pulled me over. This is back when I was driving, okay? Just back when I was enough to drive. Hey, Dana. And I was like, pull me over, and he was like, ma'am. And I looked him up and down, was like, please don't say anything.
Messed up, you trying to jump the cops and stuff.
I should be in jail. He said, "Did you realize how slow you were driving? Slow.
You were driving slow."
Yeah, I was lost, and I was trying to figure out where I was in the streets because even though I could see well enough to drive, I couldn't see well enough to read the signs. So I didn't know where I was, and so he said, and I looked him up and down. I was like, "You don't know how slow I went to ride him, okay?" I'm just saying. So
well,
I was like,
"What do you expect from you?"
I tried so hard though, and I just kept looking up. So I just was like, I apologize. And, what can I do? What do you need me to do? And he just looked at me like, you little slut ass, if you don't speak. Well, I need you to drive this damn car on the road like you on the damn road. And so my mother was in the back seat and she was just rolling her eyes because she was like, girl, you make no sense. So I was like, I'll turn off, officer, no problem. So I turned off. And then I do try, but I get excited when I see uniforms and men and handcuffs.
Okay, I understand. All right, we better jump on this last write-in. We'll be coming back in about 10:25. I have the alarm set, so I'll count it down. 3, 2, 1, and write.
Oh, let me turn the sound off because I'm about to click these keys.
Okay, that's time.
Already? I know I keep saying that, but damn.
I know, right? Go by so fast, doesn't it? Yeah. How'd you do?
Oh, I never, you know what? I gotta start when I do these. I'm gonna start doing them on different sheets so I can keep track of numbers from now on because I never actually have good numbers. I think I only got 5 paragraphs, so the same.
That's pretty good.
But
Yeah, I got about
I was
15.
answering some emails and stuff too that jumped in for the film
Oh,
shoot. Girl,
uh-oh.
I wouldn't
How'd
have
that
answered
go?
other than that.
Oh, boy. Lot going on, lot going on.
Mm.
I think I got about 2:15, something like that, messing with the 2-year-old.
Oh, that's good. That's
But
good.
I'm about at the end of the short story. It's not a very long one. It's only like it's probably gonna only be like a few pages.
See, I
So,
don't have that gift. I would give anything for that gift. I
right, short stories?
Yeah, I don't.
Really?
I don't have the skill. I don't.
I think those are simpler than writing full-fledged stories, really.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've been
I
doing it so
think what my
long.
problem is that because you really, I think it's really a true gift if you can write short stories, especially if you can write complete short stories that don't feel like
Missed stuff.
people don't feel like they missed something or that they wished it was more to it. People
Mm-hmm.
can get. I read a story one time, it was like 4 pages long, and it was boom, 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 great. I cannot
Yeah.
do that. I would have taken a novel to write that exact story, and not that the novel wouldn't have been good too.
Yeah, but you're saying you need that length
I
to
don't
tell
have
the
that
story.
gift. I would love it. Oh my goodness, with the amount of writing that I do, if I could write short stories, I could write a short story a day. I wish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, well, it's a lot easier for horror, in my opinion, only because you don't have to. Because I'm a very like give detail type of writer, so um, I had to learn a way to cut back a little bit when I'm doing my writing. But the good thing about horror is you don't have to give origin details. You don't have to say where the monster came from. You don't have to tell the backstory of such and such character or get it in there some way, somehow. It doesn't matter. People
Yeah,
are
I like
so,
stuff like that because people will build their own backstories, and that's kind of fun for
yeah,
people.
they kind of thinking like, wonder what this is, or who they were, or why
What
they're here, blah,
what
blah, blah.
chemical explosion created that thing?
Yep. So I don't know. Horror is a lot simpler for me. So I've written lots of short horror stories. So that's why I decided to do the compilation novel. But
I mean,
yeah.
technically, Encounters is a compilation,
Mm-hmm.
and but it's still not short. It's not. It's
Yeah, that's a
short compared to
novella.
stuff that I write, but I don't know. I don't have a gift like my mom, as she would put it, succinct. I don't have that. I'm verbose. I wish.
Oh man. Well,
I
I'm
do.
glad I got some done.
I think people who can tell stories, short stories, are brilliant.
Oh yeah. I've read some really good ones, and I'm like, wow, impressed.
I
Like
think
even
my
though,
has always been if I had an idea for something that was a short story. Let's just pretend like that ever
um,
happens. I would still get so wound up in it that a whole bunch of subplots and subplots will start happening to me anyway. Because I think if I took all of my subplots and subplots out of stuff, I would have a short story. Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. That's probably the case too.
That's not a bad idea to see.
The
I'm
way
gonna
to
do
get you
an
to do it.
exercise on that and see if
Well,
that.
like when I'm doing my horror, like this
Hmm.
one that I'm doing, I started it right in the kids' bedroom, and they were playing, and they had built a fort, and you know how like kids do, built a fort out of sheets in their room, and then they're like his sister's telling him a story about this woman, and she whispers to you and stuff, um and then she tells him that, and he's like, what? And then because they're like playing together and stuff, so at one point she leaves to go get them snacks, and that's when the thing comes to whisper at him. So, and then he's like freaking out and stuff, and like what, you know. But yeah, that's where it is right now. So getting creepy. I didn't have to start anything like, oh, they woke up in the morning and blah 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 blah. Now they went to school and then they came back and then they're home and they ate dinner and all this stuff like when I do when I write a novel.
I don't like that at all. I don't. I like, you know, had the only time, if you notice in my stuff, where I will, if I even have a character alone, something traumatic had to have already happened to them or is about to. And as far as like, you know, she woke up and went and brushed her teeth and all that other stuff, I like to think that people know daily routines.
You would think so, but some people not.
I will skip over that in a heartbeat, because unless she woke up, walked to the bathroom and realized she's walking in some quicksand and then got snatched through the mirror, I don't want to hear about her walking to the bathroom brushing her damn teeth.
So, see, if I was writing this story in a novel setting, I wouldn't have started it where I started it at. More than likely, I would have started it with linking the legend of the creature. More than likely, I would have linked it somewhere else during the day, something very subtle. More than likely through the mother, let's say, like if she was out or something, or I would have brought up something there. And then I would have had it go into where the kids were in the room. I wouldn't have started where I started with my short story, but because it's going to be real quick. I mean, it's not going to be very long at all. Like it's going to be under 5,000 words for this one. But yeah, it's that's what's going to happen with that.
5,000 words. Oh my God, I wish.
Under 5,000 words. So
I remember in school, and the teacher would give you this, you know, 2,000 word assignment or a 12-page assignment or whatever the number was, assignment, and all the kids cringing like, oh my God, I gotta write so many pages. And I'm thinking, I gotta figure out how to make it that short, you know. And that's what I would do, though. I do have that gift, at least. I can't start off that way like people can, but I can I can write 20 pages and then make it 10.
Yeah.
So,
all right, well, I guess we better start wrapping up here. I gotta run soon. You can go ahead and do your closeout thing when you're ready.
I don't really have anything new. Encounters is out now, and it's under my naughty girl named Minx Kenosha. So be sure if you're looking for it on Amazon, it's Minx Minx Kenosha, Kenocha, and it's called Encounters. The tagline is The 7 Erotic Sins. So that's out now. Shattered, like I said, won't be out until April, but I do have art copies that'll be going out in February. So if you're interested in that, hit me up. I have like a couple more slots left for people who can get those. And I don't know what else. My heart is racing right now.
I have all Aphrodite's links below. To her YouTube channel, of course, if you want to subscribe to her if you're not already, and then her Facebook page, her Twitter, and where you can pre-order right now your copy of Encounters. So get over there and do that. That's already up there. Really good price, $2.99 for that awesome novella.
I tried so hard to get $99. They won't. I guess because now it's just KDP. It's no more Create Space, and since KDP took over for Amazon,
it won't
let me do it for $9. I tried to do it for free, and
but they won't let you. Yeah, but hey, her writing, I'm just gonna say, it's well worth that price and much more. So anyway, no biggie there. All right. So as you know, I'm DL Tillery. I have a whole bunch of links below. You can check those out. Check out my Patreon, my website. You can go on my website, which I have the link here below. It's authordltillery.wixsite.com. You can check me out there. On the cover of my website, you'll see my 3 novels that's in the works. Conquer Cagliostro is complete, but being edited right now. I'm expecting that to be like I said, late fall release, early winter, and then my horror compilation novel won't be until 2020. I'm planning, and then I have my other novel that I've been working on. I have a cover for and everything. That one is called When Fireflies Mingle. That one is based off of a fae world. That's mine. The main character's name is Lucas Casey.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his name is Lucas Casey. So I have a thing for guys who wear suits. So
I like that.
Cagliostro also wears suits a lot, and Lucas Casey wears suits as well. Even though it's in a fae world, but they are very futuristic based.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I have that stuff going on, editing, writing, a lot of stuff happening there. So we are going to be doing these write-ins once a week right now on the Tuesdays in the evening. So look for those. It'll be going back and forth. This week is on my channel. Next week is going to be on Aphrodite's channel. So definitely go subscribe to her and check her out. We will be signing off now. We hope you enjoyed the write-in, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.